Morning's Transparency Tracker, we have the second part of our three-part series on the extra price you pay. State revenues collected from alcohol and tobacco, gambling, and marijuana.
This is the first year Maine has allowed legal sports betting, so researchers at Open the Books filed a Freedom of Information request to find out how much Maine brings in from betting and gambling. Here to fill us in is Jeremy Portnoy, an investigative journalist from OpenTheBooks.com. Jeremy, thanks for being here. How much money is Maine making from gambling?
Good morning, Jeff and Katie. So Maine last year, they have 4 major gambling taxes that brought in $73 million this fiscal year. So every time you lose a bet at slot machines or a card game, a cut of that goes back to the state.
Well, let's start with the classic casino games. How do you collect funding from that?
Well, almost all that money I just mentioned is from slot machines. That's their big one. The state collects 49% of the profits that a casino makes from slot machines. If they have a horse racetrack, they get a little discount, but that brought in $65 million this year. And then your table games like poker and blackjack, those get taxed at 16%, so it brought in $4 million this year.
And now that sports betting is legal, how has that affected state taxes?
Well, same thing. When you bet on a team and you 10% of that revenue goes back to the state. So right now, Maine only has 2 sports books that are licensed. There's DraftKings and there's Caesars. DraftKings is making a lot more money. They're paying a lot more in taxes, so it's brought in at least $4 million. Now, I say at least because if you win the bet, then that's income, and you have to pay income tax. But they don't report that separately.
A lot of people like to call these sin taxes. How do these tax rates compare to other states nearby, New Hampshire and other New England states?
Well, Maine's actually pretty cheap for sports betting. If you look at some of those other Northeast states, there's like New York, Delaware, they're both taxing their sports books at 51% instead of 10%, which is a huge difference. Same thing with the casinos. Pennsylvania, they bring in more taxes from gambling than any state in the whole country. But overall, New England, it's pretty below average in terms of revenue.
All right, some interesting numbers here this morning. Jeremy Portnoy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.